A great man once said, "The fact is, I'm single and looking for love." Source, Danny Wrublin, 17 Magazine, 1998. When I initially saw this quote, along with this picture in the magazine, Danny and I had just been set up by mutual friends to room together at Duke, our freshman year of college. As freshman year approached, I began to learn of Danny's childhood modeling prowess. He appeared in a Sperry Topsider ad with Jamie Lynn Sigler of The Sopranos, the cover of The Babysitter's Club with the actress who played Stephanie Tanner on Full House, along with numerous other teen heartthrob gigs. You see, Danny was a model for Ford Modeling Agency, which for any straight male would not mean much, except I was an overweight, husky, 18-year-old virgin entering college. And I figured that so many women would want to be with my male model roommate that I would reap the fringe benefits. Needless to say, freshman year was drier than the Sahara Desert for the two of us. And people around campus were more likely to think that we were a couple, given we were always referred to as a pair. Danny and Andy, or Eimer and Wrublin, as opposed to being referred to separately. I cannot believe it's been nearly 13 years since our parents helped move us into Alspa Hall. I could not have gotten luckier to have been set up with someone who's my mirror image. Our enthusiasm for all sports led us to form a fast friendship, and our passion for Duke basketball is unmatched by most people we know. From Danny calling me in my office on game days and leaving a message with my assistant pretending to be Coach K, or a player on the opposing team, to his pregame pep talks that would go something like this. "Danny, are you excited for the game?" "Me? Yeah, I've been looking forward to it all week." To which he would respond, "Get excited! Do you want to win this game? Do you want a fucking championship? Let's go, motherfucker!" That's a direct quote, Lauren, so I was allowed to curse on that one. I've been told that watching a game with the two of us together is a god-awful experience, mainly because we actually think we're on the team. Fighting our nails down to the cuticle, ignoring everyone else around us, and screaming expletives for 2 hours straight. Imagine if we rooted for a mediocre team like Michigan. Danny and I once convinced one of our friends freshman year that she should hook up with Jason Williams, who later became the #2 pick in the NBA draft, just so that we would have the story to tell later on. I'll thank Emily later and let her know I've officially lived up to my end of the bargain. During the joyful days of the Greg Pauls and Josh McRoberts era, we each became so enraged watching the team play that we decided to take it out on our respective apartments. Me by shattering a light fixture, Danny by kicking a table that resulted in breaking one of his toes. Fortunately, being a Duke fan has also had many highlights since we've known each other, and I've loved having someone as crazy as me travel the country to see the team play, including a Sweet 16 in Anaheim, trips back down to Cameron Indoor, and the 2001 Final Four in Minneapolis. Daniel Jason Wrublin, what can I say? You're one of a kind. You're the only person in the history of Theta Chi fraternity to be decked out in Prada during the mudsliding component of our pledging company. And you're the only person I know who had to serve a multi-year ban from entering the continent of Australia. I laughed at the irony of the groom's gifts that you gave last night, top-of-the-line leather dop kits, as it brought to mind the time we went on vacation together. And you used a 10-gallon garbage bag to hold your toiletries. We all know your hair supplies deserve better than that. People are drawn to you because of your trustworthiness, and you're one of the most generous people that I know. You know how to light up a room with your infectious personality. I'm reminded of the time that we took a road trip down to Atlanta to visit some friends at Emory for the weekend.
Dead rat.
We all headed out for the night, and while waiting in line to get into the club, Danny had to use the restroom. Unfortunately for the pizza place next to the club, they did not allow non-customers to use their bathroom, and Danny decided to water their plants. Lo and behold, Danny spent a few hours in the downtown Atlanta holding cell, and when it came time to bail him out, he was giving every inmate a high five and a fist bump on the way out. They were quick to like him and sad to see him go. As you can probably imagine, I have countless stories about Danny through the years, most of which are more appropriate for another time and place, perhaps at that bar after I'm done with this speech. While preparing for tonight, I was reminded countless times by my wife, Jen, that this is a toast and not a roast. As excited as I am for Danny that today is his wedding day, it brings me even greater joy that his bride is Lauren. From the moment they met, I could tell Lauren was different than the other girls Danny had previously dated. The definitive giveaway was that he kept me away from meeting her early on in the relationship. Knowing that an encounter with me would likely bring an end to the romance, given the fact that I had no filter. When he gave me a recap of their dates, our phone conversations would go on for nearly an hour, with Danny giddily doing all the talking. For those of you that have never seen Danny talk on the phone, and it's certainly a treat, I picture him nervously pacing around while talking to the speaker of the phone and holding the receiver away from his ear like this. As he was describing the budding relationship with Lauren, he would use a couple of Wrublinisms, such as, "Things are heating up. This relationship could have legs." And my personal favorite, when he would be seeking advice about what Lauren's actions meant and whether she was into him. "I don't know, you know." I was finally given the opportunity to meet Lauren in the spring of 2008, but not without Danny giving me a lecture beforehand about what can and cannot be discussed. I remember Danny's reticence leaving the table to go to the bathroom, nervous about what I might say when he was gone, and Lauren prodding me for stories in his absence. Needless to say, I am confident they made it here today because I was on my best behavior that night. Most of all, what I remember from that night was thinking how beautiful, charming, and intelligent Lauren was. I think the world of Danny, but as they like to say in boxing, he punched above his weight class when he started dating Lauren. Fast forward to last May. Danny and I were flying down to our friend Lauren's bachelor party when he told me the intricate details of his plans to propose to Lauren in Paris. I was impressed with the logistics behind this majestic proposal, which was set to take place on July 10th. My wife Jen was due with our first child on July 3rd, but Danny said, "Wouldn't it be incredible if we were able to share our two greatest milestones to date on the same day?" I'm sure Jen did not feel the same way, given the fact that she was past her due date, and it was 95 degrees that entire week. But in my heart, I was hoping for a July 10th birth. While in France, Danny would send me daily texts asking for a status update. I remember them calling to share word of their engagement from Paris, and all their focus was on how Jen was feeling as opposed to talking about their incredible news. It's remarkable how unselfish, kind, and generous the two of them are. In the end, our son Jack was born less than 24 hours after Danny and Lauren got engaged. I actually just dropped I made it through this far. Danny, congratulations on no longer being single and looking for love. You could not have found a better match than Lauren. Please join me in a toast wishing Danny and Lauren a lifetime of happiness.